Good morning, students. This is chapter 6 in history, the Tughlaq and Lodhi dynasties. As we have done the previous chapters, we already know who Alauddin is. The death of Alauddin in 1316 was a signal for civil war to begin, as there was a lot of a scramble for power among the competitors. Malik Kafur was able to assume power as a regent, but he was also killed by the slaves of Alauddin. The last Khalji ruler was Khusrau Khan, who was also killed in 1320. Then the situation was this, that the nobles were very tired of all the chaos and confusion going on due to the lack of proper power and rule. So you see that they raised Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq to the throne in the year 1320. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq was also called Ghazi Malik. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq built a new city near Delhi and he named it Tughlaqabad after the name of his dynasty. He carried out military campaigns against Pratap Rudradev, who was eventually defeated by him, and even his empire was also annexed to the empire of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Bengal was also invaded and some part of it was annexed to the empire of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq. Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq introduced a few administrative reforms, such as removing corrupt officials and appointing honest officials in the government. He also made reforms in the judicial and police departments. He reduced the land revenue to 1/10 of the produce, and he also ensured the safety and protection of the people by seeing to it that canals were dug, gardens were laid out, and forts were built. Eventually, he died in 1325, after which the throne was ascended by his son Jona Khan in 1325, and his son Jona Khan assumed the title Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq as a ruler. Let us see about Muhammad bin Tughlaq now. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was different from other Delhi sultans, as he was the only ruler who had got literary, religious, and philosophical education besides military training. He had a wonderful memory and he was highly intellectual. He was a wonderful poet and a versatile scholar in the fields of astronomy, physical science, and medicine. Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to cause a lot of changes in the administration, economy, the transport and communication systems, because he had got many innovative ideas. But most of his ideas failed just because some of the ideas that he had got, they were very innovative, but they were not suitable for that particular time period. Let us see his decision of taxation in Doab. Taxation in Doab. As Muhammad bin Tughlaq wanted to introduce new crops and cultivate barren lands, he raised the tax in the region of Doab to half of the produce. But unfortunately, a severe famine broke out in that region during that time, and as a result, the farmers suffered very badly at the hands of officials, due to which Muhammad bin Tughlaq had to compensate, and in order to compensate, he provided liberal relief measures such as free food and loans. Transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri. This is also one of the decisions taken by Muhammad bin Tughlaq that turned out to be unsuccessful, as he realized that Delhi was prone to the attacks of Mongols, and therefore he decided to build a new city at Devagiri, and he renamed it Daulatabad. And of course, he also shifted his capital there, as he thought that it would be easier for him to control the south part as well from there. But the mistake which was made by him was this, that instead of shifting only the offices to Daulatabad, he ordered to shift the entire population of Delhi to the new capital with all their belongings and everything that they had. And this was really a blunder made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, as traveling the distance of 1500 kilometers in the hot summer was really miserable and problematic for those people. Apart from that, Daulatabad was also not suitable for the people due to its climatic conditions. So eventually, people were ordered to return to Delhi, but this decision had already caused a huge loss to Muhammad bin Tughlaq, not only in financial terms but also in the death of thousands of people who were migrating. Now, token currency. Again, a wrong decision made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Although he was such a sharp minded person and highly intellectual, yet he made so many mistakes. Let us first of all understand what is a token currency. For us, we are well aware of what a token currency is because we are already using paper notes and metal coins. But in those days, it was a new idea because bronze coins were issued which had the same value as that of a silver tanka, that is 140 grams, and those bronze coins were to be used in place of gold and silver coins in the market for transactions. So eventually gold and silver coins started disappearing from circulation in the market, which led to a heavy loss in the trade as well. And of course, people had also started paying their taxes in the new currency, that was the bronze coins instead of gold and silver. So eventually, the Sultan had to decide to withdraw that currency because it was leading to a heavy loss. And when he decided to withdraw the currency, of course, the people also started returning the bronze coins in exchange of gold and silver coins from the Sultan's treasury only, and which again led to a great loss to the exchequer. So, overall, we can come to this conclusion that this was also a wrong decision made by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. After that plan of conquests. So, Muhammad bin Tughlaq also wanted to conquer China and Persia, but his plans failed as he lost thousands of soldiers and a lot of money in that attempt. And in 1328, the Mongols conducted a number of raids and they reached the outskirts of Delhi, which caused insecurity to the empire. At that time, Ibn Battuta served as a judge in Muhammad bin Tughlaq's court. So that's how the empire broke up because his schemes were continuously failing and therefore he became unpopular among the nobles as well as the ulemas. So people started revolting. There were revolts in provinces like Bengal and Gujarat, Devagiri. So that's how he had to suppress the revolts, and while suppressing one of the revolts, he died in 1351. So, after the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his cousin Firoz Shah Tughlaq took the throne in 1351, and he also tried to get back the territories of Bengal and Sindh but failed in that attempt. But that attempt had incurred a lot of cost and therefore he had to suffer a heavy loss. Now, talking about Firoz Shah Tughlaq as a ruler, he was a just and a kind ruler, and he had done various things to show his kindness, such as he reduced the taxes in the Doab and he levied only four taxes which were prescribed by the Quran. He did many works for the welfare of the people, and he also ensured to help the poor and the needy people. He would provide them financial assistance. He also abolished all sorts of punishments which were in the revolting forms, which were very torturing. All of them were removed by him. All of them were abolished by him. And he also ensured to give justice to people. And again, justice was administered according to the dictates of the Quran. Now, there is one more thing very interesting about Firoz Shah Tughlaq, which is different from other sultans of Delhi. And it was, of course, not done by any other sultan. No other sultan, no other king was so zestful about building the towns in this manner like Firoz Shah Tughlaq was. He was very enthusiastic and zestful about building the towns. So he founded the towns of Firozabad, Fatehabad, Jaunpur, and Firoz Shah Kotla. So, apart from that, he built 50 madrasas, 40 mosques, 30 colleges, and 100 hospitals in the capital. The Feroz Shahi Madrasa, which is at Hauz in Delhi, it was a center of higher education for the Muslims. And during his reign, he again got 1200 new gardens laid out in Delhi. Eventually, he died in 1388 at the age of 80, and of course, after his death, there was a scramble for power among all the competitors, all those princes who were competent. They were competitors of one another and they were fighting for power. Then Timur's invasion of India took place in 1398, and which led to the actual disintegration or breaking up of the empire. So it was eventually the invasion of Timur that led to a complete destruction of the Tughlaq Empire. Amir Timur was also called Timur the Lame, and he was the head of the Chagatai Turks in Central Asia. He had set out for India from Samarkand with 92,000 horsemen, and he plundered India without any mercy, without any kindness, and what was left behind after him was only blood, torture, and the dead bodies of men, women, and children. So Delhi saw the worst time uh, due to the invasion done by Timur, and it had led to a complete destruction of the Tughlaq Empire. Also, the invasion of Timur had opened the way for his great grandson Babur to invade India, which took place a century later. Rise of the Lodhi dynasty. Although Timur left India, yet his viceroy Khizr Khan and his successors, the Sayyids, they continued to be in India, and they ruled Delhi for the next 38 years. In 1451, Behlul Lodhi, who was an Afghan and also the governor of Punjab, he occupied the throne, and he tried to get the prestige of the Sultanate by maintaining good relations with the nobles and by suppressing the rebellions. He tried to establish his authority over Sindh and Mewar. Then Behlul was succeeded by his son Sikandar Lodi, whose real name was Nizam Shah, and he was considered as the wisest and greatest ruler of the Lodi dynasty. He annexed Jaunpur and Bihar, but he was not successful in capturing Gwalior and Malwa. Ibrahim Lodi. Sikandar Lodi was succeeded by his son Ibrahim Lodi in 1517, and then Ibrahim Lodi faced a number of rebellions, like Rana Sanga, who was the ruler of Mewar. He had extended his empire right up to western UP, and he was also trying to attack Agra. Then he also faced rebellion in the east, and apart from that, there was something which actually played a crucial role in his life, and it was that he displeased the nobles by replacing old and senior commanders with the younger ones who were loyal to him. And this brought really a failure for him because revolts broke out in many parts of the country as a result of this action of the Sultan. And the Sultan tried to suppress those people with great uh, feeling of revenge, and but he could not succeed. Taking advantage of the situation, Alam Khan, who was the Sultan's uncle, and Daulat Khan, who was the governor of Punjab, these two people invited Babur, the king of Kabul, to invade India. And it was a wonderful opportunity for Babur to accept because Babur himself had been driven out of his own homeland in Samarkand. So he simply grabbed the opportunity as soon as he found it, and he was so fortunate that he could easily defeat Ibrahim Lodhi in the first Battle of Panipat, which was fought in 1526, and that's how he killed Ibrahim Lodhi. And with the death of Ibrahim Lodhi, of course, the Lodhi dynasty came to an end, and that's how the Mughal Empire also witnessed the dawn in India, which means the Mughal Empire almost came to an end. It saw its end in India. Rise of new kingdoms. The decline of the power of the Sultanate. Of course, when there was no power, then many new kingdoms started rising in various parts of the country in the 14th and 15th centuries. The important regional kingdoms that were trying to rise were Bengal, Assam, Odisha, Jaunpur, Gujarat, Malwa, Mewar, and Kashmir.